What's going on, Philadelphia? Hello, everybody. I am John Bargett, of course, with the beautiful Vince Quinn. This is Bell and the Birdmen, and we are excited to talk to you because, well, it's been a packed week of stuff to discover. We're going to talk about Jordan Davis, who went on a little podcast with Chris Long, and I think that has some interesting quotes in it, and Vince Quinn is going to dig up a lot more, including stuff about Jonathan Gannon, where we're heading towards Washington. We'll give you an update on that, too.
Oh, baby.
Thanks to our friends at Philly Sports Trips. But Vince Quinn, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I already cracked my can, John, which is it's cold in here. We got the air conditioning fixed in here.
Which shout out to Fred, by the way.
Fred, the landlord, who killed it and brought us fresh strawberries. Your man, Fred.
Yes.
But yeah, I've been drinking a lot of Liquid Death. I've been peeing a lot because I pee a lot when I get cold. There's some fun information for you. And
wait.
Yeah.
You pee a lot when you get cold?
Yes.
All
the time.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I feel the warmth in my body, and then it's just like, it's got to go. It's just got to go. And I pee all the time when I'm cold. It's a disaster. So there you go. That's a fun fact about me. Wait till December, baby.
If we ever get a soundboard, that has to be on it. I pee when it's cold.
I pee when I'm cold.
I feel the warmth in my body, and I have to go into it. Outstanding.
It's just the truth.
Well, I know
yeah.
one thing that you're feeling the warmth about, too, and that is just what I mentioned. Jordan Davis is making everyone smile this offseason, correctly as I predicted. I just want to point that out, too. What a goddamn natural leader that guy is. I don't know if you watched oh, of course you did. You're the one that told me about it. I was able to watch the entire Chris Long interview thanks to Vincent. Actually, it was Taylor's credit.
Yeah.
See, I got to give the proper credit.
I was going to, yeah.
Our good friend Taylor Cordatis said we have to watch this, and we did. And honestly, Vince, I just want to know your thoughts on like what was some of the bigger things that stuck out to you in this interview. And then I hear you have an obsession with Jordan Davis now, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if I've characterized that right. But
well, yeah, I wouldn't call it an obsession. I do like a lot about
a wormhole, a Jordan Davis wormhole.
There's a lot of things to discuss. There's a lot of good things that he says, and let's play the one portion that really gets to the heart of a lot of what I want to get into with Jordan Davis, and here it is from that interview. It's the green light with Chris Long.
And how do you feel about weight? And how do you feel about being a three-down player? Because I think you're going to be a three-down player, in my opinion.
Weight, for me, per se, I would say my focus was just getting down to a healthy body comp level.
Yeah.
In the combine, I want to make sure I looked good and felt good at the same time. You know, the numbers are going to be the numbers, but I just want to make sure like my body was tight, my body was toned, fit, and I was just really working on the body ratio, the muscle ratio. So that was the biggest emphasis that I had. And, you know, as you go along and you burn fat, obviously the weight's going to go down. So I would say I played the season kind of like in a 350-ish zone, and then I weighed in the combine like 341. So although it was only 10 pounds, it was like, you know, you lose weight, but you also losing fat and gaining muscle. And, you know, muscle outweighs fat. So it's a lot of numbers to play with, a lot of sliding scales.
Yeah.
So it's really just one of those things. You just like a sliding scale. It's more about the body comp and just making sure that you're healthy enough to play and, you know, to be that three-down player.
Yeah.
That was my emphasis in the off season. So, you know, I've been training with a lot of people, Chuck Smith, because at Georgia, they didn't ask me.
Yeah.
They didn't ask me to be a three-down player. You know, I was the guy to get them third down.
Right.
So I want to point right at the end there, we have got a big old check mark that was one of the questions of the offseason, something that was, you know, basically as a freaking target on Jordan Davis's back. Oh, he's not a three-down lineman. I think you even said that when, you know, you didn't find out it was Kyle freaking Hamilton or whatever. But Georgia told him not to. You know, like that happens in colleges all of the time. I don't think we understand that when we're viewing prospects. Like, we have no idea what most defensive coordinators are asking, you know, a lot of these guys to do, and problem solved. So do you feel a little bit better now converting for and I'm sure you'll get into it too because I'm going to hit you over the head with this, but converting all that beautiful fat into muscle? Yes, exactly. This is the plan. It's what we said pre-draft, and now Vince Quinn's acting like, oh, suddenly it's a new discovery. No shit, Vince. Get on board. Kyle Hamilton sucks, shit, and let's go. That kid is so much fucking fun. He is the next Brandon Graham. Like, Jesus Christ. That kid's awesome.
Okay, give me a goddamn second, all right? Because first off, I like the guy now. I was not diving into Jordan Davis content head first once they drafted the guy. I was pissed, and then nothing was happening, and I let it ride for a little bit. Now that they're back and they were doing some workouts and all that kind of stuff, I've been getting acclimated to Jordan Davis a little bit, some of the pressers he's had with practices, and now I see that interview. I do like the guy, and for all the problems that I'll say, which I will say again for the millionth time, it should have been Kyle Hamilton. As much as I still believe that,
right, we'll get him there one day, everybody.
I like the guy of Jordan Davis. He's genuine. He's got a great attitude. Just his demeanor is awesome. He shows up in that interview. They're like, you're wearing 90. Like, what is that about? And he's just like, yeah, I just showed up and they gave me a number and it was whatever. He was like, yeah, fuck it. So I totally get that. I totally respect it. Like his vibe is great. He likes Greek mythology. I like that.
And
that
big
was
fan
fun.
of God of War. That was
Yes.
the video game. So.
Great video game. So yeah, he seems like a really, again, genuine, likable, perfect fit for personality of what the Eagles have been so meticulous about for years because they love chemistry in that building as much as anybody. Jordan Davis fits all those boxes. Going to the weight stuff, because I yelled and screamed from the mountaintops about this. And from what the number was that we talked about before he got drafted and as he got drafted, which was 360 is what we thought. Now, I said 350 there, so wherever we got that number from was wrong.
Let's go 355 and split it down the middle because they lie about that crap too.
So, but not knowing what he was going to be, now knowing it, 3-4, he's going to be the two-gap guy. That's pretty well established.
It was all Howie.
Howie Roseman yelled at him and he said, I listened to Bell and the Birdmen, and Vince Quinn said, you need to lose weight, okay? And listen to me, Jordan. You're going to lose weight.
He was putting wrong weight numbers out there.
Yeah, there we go. In the same way he lied about Nakobe Dean's shoulder there we go. Good work, Taylor. So Detective Taylor's cracked the case. But if he is from where I was on draft day, which was he's a 360-pound, is he supposed to be rushing the passer? Is this a 4-3 like they've always done it? This is a 3-4. It's a two gap, and he's 340. I feel so much better about this, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and, again, it should have been Hamilton, but I'm not going to spend all season just bitching. I'm not going to do it for the whole career of Jordan Davis bitching and complaining about it. The guy is showing me all the right steps. He seems like a consummate professional. His weight's already where it should be for a guy that's playing the 3-4 like that could one day go and rush the passer. But if he's going to survive in the NFL where everybody's better, more talented, fundamentally sound, if he's going to survive in that era and get to 3 downs where he hasn't been before, then being down to weight a little bit is a good way to go. His answer to that was phenomenal. So I feel a lot better about this guy.
I just want to point out that this is the second pedestal that we've had to knock back Vince Quinn. And because of you, and I think because of Taylor Credatis, little by little, Russell Wilson, just not even a part of the conversation anymore. By the way,
never heard of him.
To Walmart for buying the Broncos. Are you fucking kidding me? Russell Wilson and Walmart is a perfect fit. I hope you enjoy your bullshit, awful partnership from here on out. And we're going to see Russell Wilson jerseys from here to eternity, from here to frickin' Maine, film with Broncos gear. And that's disgusting to me. But besides that, I don't have to talk about him anymore because this man said the same things that he's saying about Jordan Davis right now that he's talking about Jalen Hurts. He's talking himself into it just a little bit. And this man who has now changed his avatar in our Discord to represent that he is basically Jeff McClain because he's the biggest. I've never met anyone as such right behind a reporter as Vince Quinn other than I believe our good friend Gary loving Zach
Berman, yeah.
The way we do it. But man, we are so close. He is going to buy, I guarantee you this, and you hold my feet and his to the fire here. In August, when the reports are coming out and we've seen a little preseason of that new zip of Jalen Hurts' accuracy and ball and all that other stuff, and then Jordan Davis's first sack during preseason, this man will be fully on board with both of those guys thanks to you and thanks to me. So you can say whatever you want right now, Vince, but I can't wait for you wearing a split Jordan Davis, Jalen Hurts jersey and saying, fuck Russell Wilson with a sign as we're on our way to FedEx Field with Philly sports strips and the rest. But I feel like we're getting very close to this.
Look, I'll say it now. Fuck Russell Wilson. Fuck him. He is dead to me. But no, ultimately, for Jordan Davis, it's okay. Is he going to make the best out of himself as the player now that he's here? The decision between him and Hamilton is a Howie Roseman decision. I can't blame Jordan Davis for anything that happens in comparison to Kyle Hamilton. It's the same thing on some level with Jalen Reagor and Justin Jefferson, as much as people never want to hear that.
Respect.
Right?
Respect.
Like Jalen Reagor, he got picked by the Eagles. That's not his choice. That's where they made it. It didn't work out at all. Now he's here and he's miserable, and everybody just relentlessly punches on that guy. So if Kyle Hamilton goes out, great. And if he plays better than Hamilton this year, great. We can have the conversation. We'll see where the careers go. Earl Thomas, Brandon Graham, all that kind of stuff. This could be that kind of thing. And if it's that kind of look, if it's
feels like it's going to happen again, that's why I'm getting excited.
if 10 years from now we're having a discussion of okay, who had the better career, Jordan Davis or Kyle Hamilton, that's fine. Like I would,
to be.
I'm okay to be in that situation. But for now, it's just you got to see where everything is. It is incredibly early, but Jordan Davis has shown me that he's going to be a professional, that he's the exact kind of personality that the Eagles are looking for, and I get why they made the pick.
Taylor's laughing his ass up.
I praise on being a professional when you're drafted top 10.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee at all. It's
all right, that's fair.
It's
fair.
absolutely not a guarantee. Like, what is Jamarcus Russell other than the most unprofessional, unprepared
on the best college defense we've ever seen?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Okay.
See? Yeah.
Well, yeah. So surrounded by great elite talents everywhere.
Here we
Was he
go.
not?
Yeah, that's
was
what
he not surrounded by first-round picks and a guy in Kobe Dean that people thought was a first-round pick? Did they not win the title?
To Taylor's point, this is when Vince chases cars and is excited about Julian Laurie joining the Eagles, is what I think Taylor's trying to say.
He's doing the right things.
It's like, he cares about football is the same equivalent to Jordan Davis is a professional. It's like, well, yeah. He's making $8 million a year. He's buying a house here. And he wants to go on a cheesesteak tour. Jordan, please, let's go. Let's do this thing.
Let's go to Angeles, baby.
Oh, yes. And I've never experienced Angeles. We can do it for the first time together. I think that would be great.
I would die to do that. There's no doubt. But professionalism in a rookie, I think it does matter. I'm gonna die on this hill.
That's fine.
Look at Treylon Burks.
It's a thing.
Look at Treylon Burks.
I don't know. Has that been
got
updated?
exhausted.
Well, I don't want to. Has that been updated at all? I heard he had a really good, I don't know if that was PR fodder or not.
I don't know. He got through a practice, I guess. I guess he's been getting through practice since. But when the guy shows up and he doesn't go through his first fucking practice as a wide receiver.
Yeah, we'd be. And to your point, it wouldn't matter. That would be in our heads forever. So yeah, you're right. Professionalism matters.
So
all right.
yes,
I concede.
The guy's taking care of his body in the right ways and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, a great interview. If you didn't hear it, him on with Chris Long was phenomenal.
Really
Greenlight podcast. Go check that out.
Also on that point, one of the other things in that interview that I thought was very interesting, both Jordan Davis and Chris Long almost simultaneously said, Milton Williams, what a fucking stud.
Oh, yeah.
Not just like, oh, great, Milton's going to be there to be a part of the team, like, probably Dallas Goedert talked about Zach Ertz, if I'm being honest. It is that dude can play. And that surprised me a little bit because mentally, I think where I'm at and where you're at too is just this guy's a good rotational defensive tackle. But when both of those guys, someone brand new into the building and someone that was saw him exit. No, Chris was gone by then.
Yeah, he
probably
was definitely
made
gone.
A training camp visit or whatever. Talks to Fletch about it, but they both reacted in a way that was like, this dude. To make more of an emphasis to that Tom Donahoe motherfucker who's no longer here. Like that's a big emphasis. I think when we're missing something here with Milton Williams too, if they both agree and like a guy's evaluation of him, I think literally got him fired. I think we might have to. That's my dark horse. Is Milton Williams is going to be this like stud just based off that interview, and not well. I shouldn't say that, but just everything that has happened around that pick. I feel good vibes is all I'll say. Good vibes.
You look back at the Milton Williams move, and what does it tell you? It tells you that this team was preparing for the 3-4 starting last year. They drafted him as a 3-4 defensive end. The guy that Tom Donahoe wanted, I remember, was supposed to be more of a traditional Eagles guy. Okay, well, they don't do that. They get Milton Williams. Well, that's just what I've expected them to do.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not married to the 4-3. I don't really give a shit. You can run whatever system you want. Again, like my Ravens, John. They run a 3-4. So it's just
your Ravens, my Giants. I get it. Yeah.
Be good at what you run and be consistent in drafting. You know what I mean? So for what that fit was previously, Milton Williams was outside that box. Donahoe's pissed off. Howie goes, what the fuck's your problem? We're going to a 3-4. And then here, they're switching the whole thing, and they love him because
oh, man, that's a great point.
Stacks up.
Think about that in this regard. You're thinking 4-3. You see Jordan Davis here. We didn't. You flipped the switch when that transition in the middle of the year started happening and Fletch was in the air. I'll take it a step further now. We had mentioned before 2 or 3 episodes ago, I'm pretty sure that, when you're looking, and we fought about this too a little bit, when you're looking at number 93 on this team, when we're constantly looking at 91 in his contract, but Hargrave, who is questioned at his own press conference and whether or not he's thinking of that future contract, well, now you kind of know why there hasn't been a deal done. If Milton Williams is going to emerge in his second year, and everybody says that's the biggest step in everyone's career is rookie year to second year and how you are going to perform from that huge leap. So that's what they're waiting for, I think. So, I don't want Hargrave out of here, but if Milton Williams is going to be this next stud in a 3-4, which makes more sense with his skill set, and they want him, and maybe this helps, they want him to be the Jordan Davis role in Georgia. They want Jordan Davis to be Fletcher Cox in the NFL here. Does that make sense? Like, I do think that and every piece that they have shown us this offseason says younger, cheaper, because they know they got to pay Jalen Hurts, baby. But
Knew you were going there.
I think that quote alone was very telling to me in terms of like, oh shit, Hargrave really is competing for his job this year, in my opinion. And obviously Milton Williams is competing as a starter. That's duh.com. But I think Hargrave has a good chance of getting out of here.
Well, it's all investment, and you have to place it in only so many places, right? So what is the problem? Well, Josh Sweat's getting paid a lot of money. He's your outside edge rusher. Hassan Reddick is getting paid a lot of money. He's your outside edge rusher. Jordan Davis, you have him for cheap, but you're ultimately doing it with the idea that you're going to pay him a lot of money soon. So at that point, all right, Fletcher Cox, casualty after this year. Javon Hargrave, casualty after this year. And Milt Williams would start on a lot of teams in the NFL. He would.
Oh, absolutely.
But the problem is he's just playing in Philadelphia, and they're stacked. I mean, it's the same thing like we talked about with the Eagles offensive linemen when we've argued about that. These backup guys could start on a lot of different teams. So if that's your situation, yeah, you got to beef up the offense. You put the investment there. That's where the league is going. If you're going to have to pay your quarterback or whatever quarterback you trade for or whatever it is they're going to do, then you just can't have it for everybody. And yeah, Hargrave would be a casualty. It'd be a sad one in my estimation because I think he's great. But that could be the fact of the matter is they're going to let this ride for the year and figure everything out, and they're not in a rush to extend anybody. And that's going to be telling. I mean, do they extend Hargrave before the season? I have no idea.
I think
very
they should. Much doubt it now.
I think they should, but if they don't, I mean, if we're looking at it and it's October and he doesn't have a deal, I'm going to be pretty surprised. I mean, that's a big deal, and we'll see how he handles that because Zach Ertz, that crushed him. I mean, remember when he had his contract problems and he fell off a cliff?
Yeah.
People hated him in this town. He went from being absolutely beloved to hated because he played a couple of weeks and he didn't get the contract that he wanted.
Yeah. Well, and I would say, and to that point, like this is, I mean, he's gone now, so I think it's okay to say this. Like, clearly, I feel as though there was some resentment between Goddard being there, knowing that he's going to get that money. And, like, of course, I would feel like shit, too, knowing that, like, you lost the competition, essentially, that you can't hang on to finish your career in Philadelphia. So, like, I totally understand that side. And I think this is part of what they wanted to try and avoid with Fletcher being here and, like, Hargrave and spinning all these different plates while you're – and it's hard to do while you're making this transition. So that's – I mean – it kind of makes what Howie has done over the past 2 off seasons, I'll say, look really brilliant in planning and having options and doing all this other different stuff. So definitely another hat tip to him. And by the way, if we're right about all this shit, Nakobe Dean will be the highest selling jersey neck and neck with Jalen Hurts guaranteed, because if it's Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Hargrave, Fletcher Cox is more of like your third down. Obviously, everyone has a chance to play third downs. Jesus Christ, this defensive line is going to absorb so much goddamn meat and let Nakobe just go him, kill him. Oh, God, this is another reason why we need to have a summer movie club in the Discord, because here's my impression of Nakobe Dean. The program. Taylor, have you ever seen the program?
No.
Oh, my God!
See?
Sports movies stink.
They do.
Mostly they do.
But they're still great because they're so – this is where the ironically cheesy, cool, fun thing pops into the Top Gun argument from last year. But, like, there's a scene in the program which everybody knows, the main linebacker, Mac, I think, or something like that. Every linebacker in the movie is Mac, by the way, to Taylor's point. They make him look at a screen and they ask him his assignment. What's your assignment here? Hit the tight end so hard that he loses his mother and all this other stuff. What do you do here? I kill the quarterback. What do you do here? I kill everybody. That's how I view Nakobe Dean. He is that this might sound weird, but Tyreek, who's the dude for Chicago Bears? It's escaping my mind. Just went through a ton. Was a punt returner, running back.
Oh, Tariq Cohen.
Yes, he's the Tariq Cohen of the defense in terms of a joystick and maneuvering and be like, I don't know if that makes sense, but his athletic ability to run in clean lanes is insane. So if you wanted that great defense, it's been built. That's what I'm going to bet on, and this is going to turn a lot of fucking heads, including a lot of people that are missing this in the NFL as analysts right now. Full stop.
And that's important because, again, this is all going back to 2 years ago now, the draft a year ago, essentially, with that fist bump that doesn't happen, and you see how much this whole team changes over since then. So they have been building to all of this. It changes the whole dynamic on Jordan Davis, all that kind of stuff. Now, there's something you touched on that I do think is really interesting because it's been blowing up in the Discord for sure. The Jalen Hurts completing a lot of passes in training camp, okay? in 7-on-7s.
This is where I'm going to give you the floor because I agree.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter yet. It doesn't matter. It's good to know that it exists.
Yep.
But it's just it doesn't mean anything yet. Here's the one thing I can take away from this that I think is relevant. The passes that he's completing, he's taking a lot of deep shots. So
That's all I want to hear.
And that's all I want to hear too. If for right now, you know what? Let him throw a million deep balls, build the chemistry, get it right with each guy, and they're all a little different, and let him figure all that stuff out. Throw a million of them. If he gets picked 30 times, I do not care. Throw deep, throw constantly, get comfortable. When it gets to 11-on-11, if he's pulling the trigger fast now, if that helps him stay as fast or almost at least faster than he was last year in 11-on-11s, you've made progress. So let him do that. Let it ride. But for now, to be like really excited, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's like, I know. So here's something, for example. There's a festival in India. This blew my mind. That has like
same. Taylor just went, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is my life. Imagine how my girlfriend feels.
Yeah.
So there's a festival in India that has like 1,000 different types of mangoes. Okay. Now that sounds amazing to me because mango is the greatest fruit on the planet. And I will not hear otherwise.
No argument here.
But they're all the way in India. I mean, I'm not trying all this. So it's nice to know that it exists, but does it really, like, until I go, I can't get too excited about it. So
Got you. Okay.
that's kind of where it is with all this. Get me to training camp, get me to preseason. He's hitting the deep balls, then I can get on board. But for now, I'm living in the U.S. and that's on the other side of the world.
I think I just found her next costume. Like you have to wear, like when you wear a mango, it's a pro Jalen Hurts thing now. So like. I think it's time to dress up in a mango at least for one of these games.
Poor Dana. That's all I have to say.
I'm so sorry.
This woman has a hard time.
I'm so sorry. And Vince is 100% right, by the way. And this is going to be, I would like to start a campaign, at least just on Twitter, not for the pod necessarily, but like we can start pre-writing the rest of OTA, which I think is just about to wrap up here too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're wrapping it up, and then they'll be back like July 26th, something like that.
So we can just start pre-writing training camp observation tweets, and they're going to sound exactly like that. All of them are. All of them are. Like, here you go. Devontae Smith is great in his own right, and that's been evident since last year that he got here. But it's clear that A.J. Brown was traded for a reason, and it's very evident when he shows up on the field. Just write that 1,000 times. Congratulations, you're a Philadelphia beat reporter, or Philadelphia Eagles beat reporter at OTA. Like you can do, and this is a classic. People do this all the time. The outside media outlets that are trying to act as if. Tweet like they're really there, and we'll steal your tweets and then just act as if they're there. So I just say, let's all join in the fun. Let's all be at training camp. Who cares? We're watching the same shit anyway. You see the first 15 minutes of the Eagles stream, and like that's all you're allowed to observe and film anyway. So congratulations. We're all beat reporters for the summer. And we can tweet out anything. I say we get that program going immediately. So
Sure.
Discord, help us out for sure. But that all being said, Super Bowl run. I'm getting excited. I can't help it. What Vince Quinn just said is absolutely fucking right. But God damn it, it's what I yelled on draft time. Just give this man time, and I'll get there. And to even credit you more, Vince Quinn, I will say this, that like me saying Jalen Hurts and the accuracy is exactly like Julian Laurie caring about football and Jordan Davis saying he's a professional. You're supposed to do that as a quarterback. Thank you. Great. That's the whole point of this season. This is to make sure you can do it. And the whole point of this season is to let you know we're going on the road for every single fucking game, and we're so excited. I am so pumped, but mainly, really, for 1,000 people to show up at Lincoln Financial South, which is now, well, we renamed it. It's FedEx Field. But to go say and wave hi at Carson Wentz and the rest of that awful dog shit stadium one more time to say we've owned you basically since we've been alive, and have 1,000 people at least. And I think I shouldn't even say this. I think we're going to break 1,000 people. I think we're going to exceed our goal of getting everybody on a bus. We have talked to a lot of different partners by now about what we're doing. And man, I wish I could tell you more, but I just have to say, please God, be on this trip. Forget everything else. I know everybody's tight on cash. You're trying to make a decision on what you should do. Put that $325 down at Washington, and I guarantee you'll get $1,000 million in experience because, oh my God, this is the only thing we're really focusing on in the first quarter of the year. And shout out to you guys for again helping the podcast by going to phillysportstrips.com and letting them know that we sent you there, because 7 people have already signed up for the Dallas trip, which I know is the game's on Christmas Eve. And I guarantee you, if it's not this one in Washington, definitely book that one. Wink, 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 because we got something cooking up for that. phillysportstrips.com. Vince, are you getting excited? I want the season to start today. I'm so jacked up.
Yes,
Between
no,
Jordan
I'm
Davis, Jalen
dying.
Hurts, fodder, it's all great. Let's go.
I can't wait for the season to start. This team is so interesting, so compelling. There's so many new pieces. They're likable as fuck. I mean, my God, the softball game.
Yes.
The softball game.
Right. We forgot to touch on that.
Did you,
yes.
like A.J. Brown after the game just being like, hey, man, which, by the way, Jalen Hurts walk-off home run. Good for you. So, yes.
Chef kiss, brother.
Peak Jalen Hurts right there. Good for him. But A.J. Brown after the game was like, yeah, tell Micah Parsons to get ready. We're going to kick his ass. Basically,
Good.
it was like, yeah, A.J.
Love
Brown's
that.
fucking awesome. He totally fits in right away. So I love the team. I love everything that they're about. It's just, it's all those technical questions of coaching and offensive philosophy and all that stuff, which I guess naturally goes into. Let's talk about Shane Steichen for a minute.
Oh, wait. On that point, I definitely want to talk about Shane because I think it's hilarious. Micah Parsons, you cheating motherfucker. I know why you came here. I know you're friends with Devontae, I think, right? That was part of it. Somebody's a friend with some of them.
I guess.
But he had ulterior motives. Did you see that?
I did see this. Yes, this is really
He had
good.
a bet with the real reason why he came to, was it in Reading? Or Lehigh Valley? Is that where they played? I forgot.
Maybe Lehigh. Yeah, it might have been at the Iron Pigs.
Micah Parsons had a bet with Dak Prescott on who could hit more home runs in their Dallas Cowboys softball event 4 fucking days later. So he got a warm-up, $500 worth of bats and all that. Fuck you, Micah Parsons. How about that? I'll start the war. I don't think you're that good. How about that? I don't think you're that good.
That's
and
not true.
I'd like to. No, I'll bet on anybody.
Wait, not that good at softball, or is it a football player?
Both. Do it in year 2. Do it in year 2. I want to see that. Anyway, I just want to point that out.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Fuck
On
Mike
to
Parsons.
Shane and his best play calling abilities, sir.
All right, well, yeah, let's go. So let's talk about this, because first off, shout out to Ryan Meehan in the Discord. It was like, people listen to the podcast. We talked about this like a year ago. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about the progression of everything, because what started was, when the season started last year, Sirianni was basically like, yeah, so like, I'd call it sometimes, and Shane would call it sometimes. We were kind of going back and forth, and like, they didn't know what the fuck was going on. They were changing where they were sitting on the field. Like, they had no idea what they were doing. They just got into it and thought they'd figure it out, and eventually they did. So Steichen took over towards the back half of the season. They started running the ball more in the back half of the season. The team turned around. To me, what that says is, one of the big questions I have about this team is, who are they going to be at the start of the season? Because last year they threw the ball 1 billion times. It didn't work, and they had to run when they should have been running in the first place and lean more into the pass. I'm sorry, they would have won like 2 or 3 more games if they ran the ball from the start. They would have beat San Francisco, for example. They just would have been better off. But going into this year now, it's okay for Steichen calling the plays and knowing he's the guy and went all in on the run, and that was a successful thing. Well, then, is that how they're going to start this year? I feel better about that. I think it's it's a better footing to get a feel for the new offense and how it's going to play, especially a game like Detroit.
Yeah.
So the start of the season, I think, is a lot cleaner. But the biggest thing for me, the biggest sticking point with all of this, it's not about Steichen, and it's not a negative thing about Sirianni either. People are going to take this and go, oh, well, he's the offensive coach, and if he's so brilliant, he should be calling the plays. No, he fucking doesn't have to. Absolutely not. It does not matter, right? If he's setting up the philosophy, he's got to manage a lot of stuff. And I don't think that's what people appreciate, because we've gone through this. Like, me and you personally and Taylor have gone through this with everything that we do. And we are still we talked for an hour today about all these different things, because we got guys like you've heard it from us in drips and drabs throughout, but we got a lot of shit going on. We're just really busy organizing all these different business things on the back end and whatever. It's exhausting. And initially, we were doing everything together, and it was every single thing that happened. We're all talking about that thing. Oh, let's go around the horn. Do we like this thing? Yes, no. Should we change it? Yes, no. And then we would keep going. It took fucking forever. And as much as you want to be involved in everything, you can't do it. You can't run a successful business and be involved in everything all the time. That's why every company, yes, you've got a CEO. They make the final say. Everything keeps moving. But what happened? Everybody runs this department, that department. You're in charge of this. You manage that. Get back to me. So that's what you need. And for Sirianni, because here's what I thought was the most important thing about all of it. It has nothing to do with play calling. It's about game planning, right? Because what is in your playbook? What do you want to emphasize? What are the things you can think you can win with? Sirianni spent a good deal, or at least he emphasized, he loves the game planning aspect. He loves that. He's like, picking these plays to exploit that defense and whatever. I love doing that. So he's doing the shit he wants to do. And we've had those conversations too. It's like, guys, I don't want to fucking touch this thing. I don't want to do that. Can you do it? Yes, great. I'll do this. You do that. Awesome. I'll talk to you when it's done. So for him to be able to figure it out like that in the second year is a maturation thing more than anything. If it gets to a point where he's got a complete mastery of the management and his time is more efficient and he can go and call plays and he wants to do it, fine. But for now, he does not have to. If anything, offensive coordinator is a way more appealing job than whenever he loses that guy, and it can keep this whole thing running long term. So I have no problems with it. I think it's a great thing. It's continuity from what it was last year when they were successful. Just good for them.
Yep, and exactly right. And to re-emphasize that as well, that's something we talked about. It's because the Eagles have had, when Doug was here, it was such a problem to find great new young offensive talent, because like it's still just like it's taking them a while to be like, maybe the 4-3 is not the greatest thing in the world anymore, and like, we gotta start to really reevaluate this. Let's go hire Jonathan Gannon in the same way that like you couldn't get at the time. And thank God dude. Let me tell you, they dodged so many bullets with choosing an offensive coordinator coming from the college ranks, because all of them that were mentioned, including, who was that dude from USC, Garrett Hartley or whatever it was, that ended up taking the job? Like, Jesus Christ, they're going to fire him sooner, or has gotten fired already, or whatever it is. But it allows you to keep churning that talent in. Maybe you do get, oh my God, it's total baby brain. Mike, Dolphins head coach.
Oh, Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniels is it plural?
I think it's McDaniel. You did the classic Philly guy.
There it is.
Like Alshon Jeffries.
Don't listen to me. I'm just a phone
Mike
caller.
McDaniels.
Yeah. But a Mike McDaniel type that you can get before like he makes that next promotion, and like snag him over maybe at 28 years old instead of 30. Hey, come, I'm going to let you be the play caller and do whatever you want. You can get a job that's a lot faster and make that a very much more attractive place. I think we were both in agreement at the time that we said that's exactly why you do it this way. And the old school way does suck. Like having to build the fucking offense, then make sure you're calling it correctly on Sundays, too much. Way too much. That's something I always believed in. Like, if you're a head coach that designed an offense, you should be able to. Even Andy's not that great at it. That's why he's, over the years, he's allowed Doug and all these other guys to call the shots at certain parts of the game, the entire game now. I think he's doing with Bieniemy. So, yes, this is how it should be set up moving forward. And if you're a philosophizer, if you are a big picture guy, which seems like Nick Sirianni is, then he is in the perfect spot as a head coach. Couldn't agree more, Vince.
Yeah, so I really dig all of that in terms of the way everything's developed. It's shaking out pretty good. You just hope Steichen could do the job, and we'll get there. We got plenty of time for that. It's a mango festival in India.
Prediction,
but
he will not. I do not believe in Shane Steichen. Just for the record, I think he's okay. I think they leaned into his strengths, which is the run. He believes in that. That's one of the things that he does. Stoutland being him, I still feel like a lot of that game planning is with that and the right calls in the feel. I'm hesitant. I will absolutely yell at you, Shane, on Sundays. I apologize for all the shit that's going to come out of my mouth. I'll probably want to fire you at some point. Just know that it's coming from a good place, and we'll go from there. So.
Yeah. So okay. So I've got one last thing. I know you got some, but here's one last little small note. Did you see the Denver Broncos? I mean, because you mentioned it, they sold for $4.5 billion.
Let's talk about it.
Eagles are worth at least $6 billion, right?
Probably more than that, double that. And then
isn't there a tax on just buying it?
Is there?
I feel like
probably, but
I feel like you have to overbuy.
Oh well, price keeps going up anyway. But yeah, you have to. Yeah.
It's probably like,
well, you're going to get taxed on the money you make on the purchase, right? I don't think you would get you would pay $4.5 billion and pay tax on top of that, or is it you as the owner that receives that money for selling the team, you would pay taxes, right?
You were saying like it's probably 6.
Right, yeah. If you were to evaluate the Eagles as a franchise, what they're actually worth, like if I'm Forbes, which likes to do that every year, I see the Broncos sell for $4.5 billion. How do you not look at the Eagles and go, all right, well, that's worth at least $6 billion, right?
It's way more than that. If you did an evaluation, it's way more than that. Because the Carolina Panthers sold for $2 billion. Then a couple of years? No, a year later, right? It's only been a year. The Broncos get sold for double that, or at least even if
it was
it's
like
2
years later, because he hired Matt Rule in Carolina, David Tepper.
Gotcha. Okay, so I mean, like even in just that short window, the franchise got raised by $2 billion, whatever your market is right now. Like
Panthers 2.2 in 2018.
So
there you go.
Like Eagles are probably more like $20 billion. I'm serious.
50.
No, I'm dead serious.
No, that's impossible.
20's crazy.
Then Dallas is one team is valued at $20 billion.
I could see Dallas valued in the ballpark because their stadium's newer and things like that. I could see them ballparked in between 8 and 10.
Hold on. You got to understand
Nobody's
something.
more than 10.
Jeffrey,
no,
not right now.
For Jeffrey Lurie to sell that franchise, I'm just putting it as if somebody came to Jeffrey Lurie and wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
You better have $20 billion in your pocket because 1994 to now, he put in all this work to make it a turnkey operation from what it was in the 70s, 80s. I mean, like, I'm just saying, it's worth way more than that for Jeffrey Lurie to sell to somebody outside of the family.
Are you talking about, like, the buying price or, like, actual...
What somebody would have to offer Jeffrey Lurie for him to even consider turning his keys in and not giving it to Julian Lurie? Oh, my God. It's gotta be
that's two different things.
Yeah,
I understand
just
that.
a raw evaluation.
No, it's not, because what's the real buying power of that franchise? You're gonna. Who cares if the Eagles are valued at 8 to get that franchise? You need 20 for him to consider it. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever it cost him to sell, I mean, maybe it cost him more, but it could be. Hey, if somebody just came to the table and was like, "Hey, Jeff, I'll give you $8 billion," he might just go,
"Okay, fuck
thanks, yeah, all right, that's cool." I mean, it really
is that your impression?
That's my Lurie. I've been working on it for a long time. It's masterful. I don't even know where I would begin with the Lurie impression. Have you heard anybody ever do a Lurie impression?
Just do deadpan, monotone, and talk about how great your franchise is.
Yeah, I don't even think I've heard, because I heard Conklin do every voice imaginable.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I worked with him for like 3 years. I don't think I ever heard him even try a Jeffrey Lurie.
All right, well, that's your job. By this time next year, you have to have a Jeffrey Lurie impression.
I have to have a Jeffrey Lurie impression.
What's
or Julian Lurie impression, because no one knows what he sounds like.
Well, he's got to come on the show so we can talk to him. And Julian, I mean that, please. If you know Julian Lurie, I'm dying to talk to this guy. Whatever it takes, I'm happy to talk to him.
What was Conklin's deepest Eagles impression cut?
Ooh, deepest. You know that what I would say is he, not in terms of personality, but his ability to sing actual songs and sound good in the voice of Merrill Reese and Mike Quick
100% agree, by the way.
Unbelievable. He does Christmas carols, and it'll be like, Jingle Bells, is Merrill. And it's like,
amazing.
It's holy shit. I mean, he's incredible.
It is
incredible.
Really good. Really, really good. I'm John Barchi. That's Vince Quinn. For the lovely Taylor Cordatis with his beautiful ears and headphones, we thank you for watching and listening to Bell and the Birdmen right here on YouTube and bellandthebirdmen.com. Okay, bye.